This is a production of Cornell University.
All right, I'm at Sheldrake Point Vineyards. It is Memorial Day 2014. We're doing some work in the vineyard, and I wanted to show you a great view of a graft union we have here, and then some suckering that's going on from it. So we've talked in class about how vines are grafted, right? We never grow vinifera vines on their own roots here because of phylloxera. And so this is a great example we came across up here. This is a Cabernet Franc vine. So our cyan material is Cabernet Franc. And that I know you can recognize very nicely from the leaves. And then here is our graft union. And below that is our rootstock, which in this case is 3309. So we can recognize the graft union here by the fact that it's bulgy, and we've had a lot of callus tissue forming here. So callus tissue is a wound response by the vine. It's a bunch of undifferentiated cells that have formed around this, this joining of the cyan and the rootstock to protect it. So one interesting thing to look at here is that there is definitely what we call some rootstock suckers that are coming up. So what we normally do is we save a few suckers from the cyan so that if we want to replace a trunk here, we can do that easily. And I'll show you that on another vine in a minute. But when we look here, we can see that this leaf is not a Cabernet Franc leaf. So I'm going to grab a Cabernet Franc leaf and compare the two of them. You can see that they're very different. The Cabernet Franc leaf is much more deeply lobed. It has bigger sinuses than this 3309 leaf. So the danger is that sometimes if people are leaving suckers, they will leave this rootstock sucker and bring that up as a trunk. And then so what happens is then their fruit isn't Cabernet Franc. It is the fruit of 3309, which is in fact extraordinarily nasty in terms of winemaking. So there's no vinifera suckers here, but we're going to walk down the row a little bit to a vine where there are suckers. So we're in the same vineyard here, and here we have a nice mix of suckers to show you. So we need to save a couple of suckers here at the bottom of the vine, but what we have here again is rootstock material. Is we can see that there's a leaf that's not very lobed, but this is Cabernet Franc sucker right here, and that is deeply lobed. So what we need to do when we're suckering is get rid of anything that looks like rootstock material. So this is definitely rootstock. We're going to get rid of all of this here so that it's not growing up, because we don't want to bring it up and put it on the trellis by accident. And then everything else here is vinifera. But what we want to do is we only want to save usually one or two suckers to bring up as trunks just in case. So we normally pick some of the strongest. So this is a nice one here. This one's nice. I'm going to get rid of some of this other little stuff. There's some smaller ones around the back. That one's not bad too. I think I'll get rid of this one because it comes out at an odd angle. So if we do that, then we're left with our two vinifera suckers that are going to come up. And then if we want to replace the trunk, all we have to do in the fall is tie those up to the fruiting wire. What we also have to do is clean up some of these other suckers that are growing a little bit higher up. What happens are that there's latent buds that are hiding underneath the bark. So we haven't planned on having a bud there, but there's a little bud that's hiding, and so we just get rid of a little bit of this stuff too, because we don't want to have shoots and clusters growing there. But so that's how we sucker, and it's really important to watch out for rootstock suckers versus cyan suckers, because we only want to bring up cyan suckers.
This has been a production of Cornell University, on the web at cornell.edu.